say a few years ago. See, I was one of those lucky ones that met his bride and got married before I entered the Marine Corps. And it was actually before I went to officer candidate school and stood out there where these fine officer candidates are standing right now. And it just so turned out that as I went off to officer candidate school, Terry wanted to make sure that my experience was one to remember. So she sent me all sorts of letters during the 6 weeks there and told me how much she loved me and encouraged me. But in each and every one of those letters, she wrapped it in a nice, pretty pink envelope or a nice, pretty blue envelope and wrote little notes to the sergeant instructor on the outside. Said, please pay special attention to my husband. And they did. Thanks, honey. And I know that may have happened out here because even though most of them are not married, I also know some enterprising young students that they happen to know back at school that may have done exactly the same thing to help them out. Okay, I am the commanding officer of the Marine Corps Warfighting Lab, and I just want to mention a couple of things simply because it's very applicable to today. See, we have a very unique mandate within the Marine Corps, and that's to look out into the future, the possibilities that are in the future. That's everything from technologies that include things like robotics or unmanned aerial vehicles, unmanned ground vehicles, new ways of doing things, better ways of doing things, and we bring that out to the Marine Corps. Now, why is that something that you should know about, and why is it applicable to today? Well, the real reason is that that's America's best and brightest in things and equipment and ways of thinking that go out to our Marines in the field. So we look out there and we try to get that out to our Marines as quickly as possible so that we can make them more survivable and, when necessary, make them more lethal. So it's the best and brightest. That's what you see standing out in front of you today. They are the future of the Marine Corps. They are the future leadership of the Marine Corps, and I know you're very, very proud of them, as am I. See, the fact is over the last 6 weeks, it hasn't been easy. I've spent lots of time making decisions with very, very little sleep, very tired, physically exhausted. They've been asked to do things physically that they've never done before. And they've done well. In fact, they've not only succeeded, they've excelled. And that's why they're standing out in front of you today. So it's something that they should be very, very proud of, and something that you should be very, very proud of. So, in kind of closing this up a little bit, I've got kind of two things that I would offer to all the officer candidates out here. First is, enjoy the day. You deserved it. You worked extremely hard to be standing where you are right now. For Echo and Golf Company, it's just about done. Another year, you're going to go back to school, finish up, and then you're going to claim that coveted title, Officer of the Marines. Pretty big. For Kilo and India Company, you got to come back one more time, but this is a significant milestone en route, and anything that's truly worth having is worth working for. I think you know that. But for each and every one of you, you can be very proud of what you've done here, so do revel in the moment. Get home safely, enjoy it with your family and friends, do that. The other thing I tell you is kind of where I started just now, looking into the future. See, this is a step towards the future, okay? One step that's going to get continually harder and more challenging as you begin to lead Marines. So I charge you to take that obligation seriously, to apply yourself, to make yourself better leaders, both physically and mentally, so that when you do claim that title of Officer of Marines, you are the very best leader that you can possibly be, no matter what the situation. Because I'll tell you what, our Marines deserve nothing less. So again, congratulations for everything you've accomplished over the last 6 weeks. Very, very impressive. You know, I think there's probably a bunch of people in this crowd that would trade places with you in a heartbeat. But I'll tell you, you've done a fantastic job. You deserve everything that you're seeing out here today.
and I thank you for having me out here.